Okay, so now this is following up on my video just before about how much I love games in Commodore 64, and this video is about the computer magazines that I read as a kid and I love. Because it was, this is like cool because like in those days it wasn't easy to get games. Like nowadays, if you want a game, you can just pretty much click and you can have the game. Like you don't even have to go to a shop to get it anymore. It's so easy to get games. But in those days, back in those days, you had to have money to get the game, and as a kid you don't just buy games whenever you want. You have to get your parents to buy it or save up and stuff. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so it wasn't easy to get games, and you'd either that or you'd have to have, if your friend had a game, like you could swap with them and stuff and borrow their games, which was kind of the fun thing about it. Where I kind of think nowadays it's good that we have access to everything, but it's just like gets overwhelming sometimes because you can watch any TV show you want, you can get any book you want, you can get any game you want, any movie you want, any music you want. It's so easy, which means which is great as well, but it's like you don't have time to do all of it, whereas back in the when I was growing up, you couldn't get TV shows. If you wanted to watch it, you had to watch it at the right time that was on TV. If you missed it, that was it. You may never ever get to see that episode. Books, same thing with books and everything. And games, if you wanted a game, you had to go find it in a store or something like that, or find someone who had it, and if they didn't have it, you'd never play it. So for me, and most of us probably, magazines were really cool because you could read the magazine and you could find out about all these games that you didn't have access to. And just you start like dreaming about having this game or wishing you had this game, and your imagination goes wild. And even to this day, like there's a lot of games where I read these reviews of them and I've always wanted to play them, which is why I was probably up to 4 a.m. last night getting ROMs for games, because it was like I want to get this game, I've always wanted this game kind of thing. Yeah. So basically I still remember probably the first Commodore magazine that I got. It was in a supermarket. The magazine was called Commodore User, and I think they called themselves CU, Commodore User. So they had Commodore games and also a little bit of Amiga games, because at the time Amiga was starting to come up. I think it was when I was in grade 4, 1988. Yeah, so basically I bought the magazine. I still remember it. I think it was like $3.20 or something, the magazine. So I had my own money saved up somehow, and I would buy these magazines at the supermarket once a month or so, and my imagination would go off. Like I'd read these magazines with their description of the games, and especially the Amiga ones, like because I didn't have an Amiga, and Amiga was like there's Commodore 64, which was what I had, and it was great, but the Amiga was like this better computer. Like it had better graphics. It didn't have it, so to me it's always been this computer like better than what I had, and just never have been able to have it. But I still kind of like that in a way. At the time I didn't like it. At the time I was like, oh man, I wish I could play that. But now I just kind of like having that feeling of like there was this system that it was like la 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 la, like like I don't know how to describe it, but it's great having that there, just as something, just like grass is always green on the other side or whatever, but it was good. I liked it. I like it now. Anyways, so basically, and also I remember on the magazine there was a 3¼ inch disc. Commodore 64 had the floppy disks, the 5¼ inch and I don't think it's 5¼ and then the 3½ inch discs were like, they were harder. They were like still called floppy disks, but they were actually in a hard case. And to me at the time, they looked so advanced. They looked so cool. Like like amazing, because I mean we couldn't use it on a Commodore 64, those little discs. So later on when I switched to a PC and I got to use those discs, it was very exciting for me. Yeah, it was really cool. I remember, on the disc you'd get like demos of games. Demos were cool because you got to try out all these different little games that so you could see if you liked it or not, which is a good idea, I think. Anyways, back to the magazine, Commodore User. I used to read it, and they were British magazines, these ones that I bought, and I found the British gaming magazines. I always liked their humor. Like, they would be fun and humorous. Where mostly I found like the other ones, like maybe the American versions or the IBM or the PC magazines, were at the time they were really boring to read, whereas these were really fun and entertaining and funny and stuff. I really liked them a lot, and I love it. But the thing is, I bought Commodore User quite often, and would dream about these games and stuff. Eventually, I think they shifted so that it was mostly Amiga stuff, because I think there's less Commodore games coming out maybe, and more Amiga games. So they shifted their focus more to Amiga. So eventually, I had to stop buying because it wasn't like having many Commodore stuff at all. Yeah. So then I went at the newsagent. I saw Zzap 64, Zzap, ZZAP 64. So there was like a fully devoted Commodore 64 magazine, and I loved that. It was so cool. It was a lot of fun, and they'd have reviews of games, and they'd have a review of a game, and they'd have like 3 reviewers reviewing the same game sometimes. And they'd have this classic thing where they'd have the review of the game, and then each reviewer would have their own little column in the review talking about their personal thoughts on the game. And at the top of their column, they'd have a picture of themselves. If they liked it, they were like happy. If they didn't like it, they were like sad and stuff. So you quickly look and see if they liked it or not. And Zzap 64, I loved Zzap 64. I bought so many issues of that. I still remember it. And that would come with like a cassette tape on it, with demo stuff on it, for demos and stuff. I'm pretty sure it was cassette tape. And I read it so much, and I would reread the magazine so many times. Like I said in my video before, I went to get the Magic Candle. I bought the Magic Candle for I think $90 or something like that, or close to that, at Maxwell's in Abbotsford, because I read in Zzap 64 that it was a good game. And I must have read that review so many times, because just yesterday now this is where this video, the topic came up, because yesterday I had this, or a few days ago, I had this idea, like, I wonder if they've got Zzap 64 on PDF files, like has someone got a torrent of it that I could download and put on my iPad. And they did, and which was cool, because it just means that there's other people like me who just love Zzap 64, who love the Commodore 64, and who have put it up. And I love that magazine. It's so obvious just looking, because I downloaded, people have uploaded torrent of the entire catalogue of Zzap 64, so I've now have access to all the issues of it, which is really exciting. So yesterday I had the day off from work, and I was going to the library to do some writing and stuff, but instead I got sidetracked because I was sitting in the car reading Zzap 64 issues, just reading through them, and just like, it's like a person who loves ice cream just engorging themselves on ice cream. That's how it felt like, just reading magazine and looking, oh my god, ads for joysticks, ads for action replay cartridges. None of this, the action replay cartridges won't make sense to you unless you know Commodore 64. It's just all sorts of stuff, and just seeing the old ads and stuff. Like, it's a labor of love, these people who first of all made the magazine. It's so obvious when I read it now, looking back, like they loved the Commodore 64. They put so much into it, like effort into it, and like, everything was so great. No wonder I love that magazine so much. And it's a testament to how much that they did, what a great job they did, that years afterwards, people are still uploading it, scanning it, putting it on their iPads, reading it. You know, if you make something crap, no one's going to do that. But which is really cool. I love Zzap 64. I mean, that magazine would have just kept on going, but I think eventually it went on for ages. Like, I think it started in 1985 or something like that. I'm just gonna guess, and it went to 1993. I'm just looking at it, and I think that's just the only reason it died is because people stopped making Commodore 64 games. I mean, because it's just the way it goes, like with technology and stuff. But yeah, they had a good run, but yeah, the fact that someone scanned it and tried to make, they said they wanted to make small files but the best quality that you could read, like the balance. Lovingly done. Like, how many issues of it? So many issues, done perfectly, and you can read everything so clearly. And I put it on my iPad and I was reading it and reading all these reviews of games and stuff and just getting nostalgia. And then I looked up the review of Magic Candle and I read it, and it was funny because I must have read that review so many times because every sentence was familiar to me. Like, it must have been burned into my brain. Funny. So, same with the Ultima 6 review that I read from that magazine. Like, and even a lot of the stuff, like the pictures and the games that they reviewed, just bring back so many memories. I love Zzap 64. I'll show you just a little. I wanted to show a little, just a little bit of it. I don't know. Can't even see much from it, but I'll just pick a random magazine. Of all the ones, I don't know. That's not even a game, I think, is it? Leaderboard. No. Just a lot of text, but to me it's amazing. It's just so good. I love it. I might as well show one that I really like, which is special to me because it's got the Magic Candle review in it. I remember now. It's in May 1990. Okay, I think it is Magic Candle. Nope. Maybe 91. It is. Oh no, this is the Ultima one. It's good enough. I read the Ultima one a lot. Okay, so this is not very exciting. But yes, look. Ultima 6, The False Prophet. It's not going to go into focus, so you can't read it. But then on the next page, that's an ad. And then it has the review of the game. And the game got 98%. Okay. And those pictures of the game, that's what I had to go with on my imagination and just a review of the game. And so good. I'd really like to find the Magic Candle, because that's one I found. It was just the month before. The Magic Candle. The review of it. Next page, and then just the review finishes up there. So it's all black and white, but it doesn't have to be colour to set a kid's imagination off. Yeah, Zzap 64. Great magazine. I love it. So it's on my iPad. That's how much I like it. Commodore User also I really love it, and now I like the fact that they had those Amiga stuff in there to kind of like whet my appetite, because made me kind of just always wish I had an Amiga or something like that. And yeah. And in the next video I'm going to talk about emulators, because I got Amiga Forever. I bought it. It's this program that people have been developing so that you can play easily play Amiga more easily play Amiga games on modern computers. So I bought it and means I have access to Amiga games, and I was so happy because it's like, oh, I finally can play all these games that I wish I could play when I was a kid. And now I'm just thinking in my head, like, what was that game that I wanted to play? What was the one that I read the walkthrough for that looked with such nice pictures that I've always wanted to play? You know, that kind of thing. So it's exciting for me. Probably nothing that exciting for anyone else, but for me, it was like, it's like, you know, oh, it's the best. Anyways, I think that's all I want to talk about for the magazine Zzap and Commodore User.